Welcome children, continuity of the relation. Mother's Day by J.P. Display. Children, in my last class I told you something about Mrs. Fitzgerald. She thought that Mrs. Pearson should have enjoyed her work of improving her family. But if you remember, Mrs. Pearson had categorically denied. She had answered that she had not enjoyed Mrs. Fitzgerald's work of improving her family. Now Mrs. Fitzgerald wanted to talk to her. Now listen, Mrs. Pearson. She wanted Mrs. Pearson to pay attention to her words. Don't go soft on them again. She advised Mrs. Pearson against going or showing nice behavior towards her family, Doris, Cyril and George Pearson, as it will all have been wasted. Otherwise, what was going to happen? She was going to think her efforts, sincere efforts, wasted. Mrs. Pearson, I will try not to. Mrs. Fitzgerald. Mrs. Pearson assured Mrs. Fitzgerald that she would try. Assured Mrs. Fitzgerald that she would try not to show soft behavior towards her family. Mrs. Fitzgerald, they have not had as long as I would like to have given them. In fact, Mrs. Fitzgerald wanted to spend some more time with Mrs. Pearson's family for bringing necessary improvements in her family. But because of the sudden interruption by Mrs. Pearson, she was unable to finish her task or achieve her purpose. Another hour or two's rough treatment might have made it certain. She wanted to treat Mrs. Pearson's family for 1 or 2 hours. She was confident that treatment for 1 or 2 hours was going to bring necessary improvements in their behavior. Whose behavior? Cyril, Doris and George Pearson's behavior. Mrs. Pearson, I'm sure they will do better now. Mrs. Pearson answered that she was confident that because of the treatment they had received from Mrs. Fitzgerald, they were going to show their better behavior then. Though I don't know how I am going to explain. Here she expressed her inability to explain certain reasons. Mrs. Fitzgerald seemed to be against any kind of explanation or apology. So she spoke severely to Mrs. Pearson, severely harshly. Don't you start any explaining or apologizing. She did not want Mrs. Pearson to offer her apologies, or she did not want her to use any explanation at all, or you are done with. She thought any explanation or apology was going to waste her sincere efforts. Apology, a spoken or written statement that you are sorry for something you have done. A spoken or written statement that you are sorry for something you have done. She was against any apology or explanation. Mrs. Pearson with spirit. Now, Mrs. Pearson showed some boldness while answering back. It's all right for you, Mrs. Fitzgerald. After all, they aren't your husband and children. She thought that Mrs. Fitzgerald, for Mrs. Fitzgerald, it was all right because Cyril and Doris were not her children. In other words, Mrs. Pearson thought that Mrs. Fitzgerald would not have given that type of treatment to her own son or daughter or to her own husband. So she thought that it was all right for Mrs. Fitzgerald. Here she showed her boldness. Mrs. Fitzgerald impressively. Mrs. Fitzgerald answered in an impressive way. Impressive way. Now you listen to me. She wanted Mrs. Pearson to be attentive. You admitted yourself to were spoiling them and they didn't appreciate you. Mrs. Pearson, she told Mrs. Pearson that she herself had accepted that she was spoiling them, destroying them. Whom? Cyril, Doris and her husband, and they didn't appreciate you. She had accepted this fact before Mrs. Fitzgerald that they had never appreciated her. Any apologies, any explanations, and you will be straight back where you were. You will be straight back where you were. She told Mrs. Pearson that if she started explaining some unwanted reasons, or if she offered her apologies, what was going to happen? She was going to revert the situation. She was once again going straight back to that place from where they had started, from where Mrs. Fitzgerald had started, from where she had started. Actually, it was she herself who had requested Mrs. Fitzgerald to do something about her family. Her family was not treating her well. This was her complaint. I'm warning you, dear, just give them a look, a tone of voice. Mrs. Fitzgerald wanted to warn her. She wanted Mrs. Pearson to give them a look, a stern look, S-T-E-R-N, a stern, tough look, a tone of voice. She wanted Mrs. Pearson to use some amount of roughness in her voice to continue the improvement in her family. Who had tried to bring that improvement? Who had tried to improve her family? Mrs. Fitzgerald. A tone of voice. She wanted Mrs. Pearson to use sometimes a rough tone, rough voice, you can say. Now and again, sometimes, or the other. In fact, she wanted her to use a tone of voice or give them a look several times to suggest you might be tough with them if you wanted to be. She wanted Mrs. Pearson to use a tone of voice or give them a look to make her family understand that she could be tough with Doris, Cyril and George Pearson if needs arose. If she wanted, she could be tough with Doris, George and Cyril. And it ought to work. Mrs. Fitzgerald was of the opinion that her methods were definitely going to work. What were her methods? Giving them a look and using a tone of voice. These methods were going to work for Mrs. Pearson, in future. She was confident. Who? Mrs. Fitzgerald. Anyhow, we can taste it. Now, she wanted to taste her methods. Mrs. Pearson, how? Mrs. Pearson asked her how it was possible to taste her suggestions. Mrs. Fitzgerald, well, what is it you would like them to do that they won't? Mrs. Fitzgerald wanted to know from Mrs. Pearson if there was something which Mrs. Pearson liked, but her family didn't. Stop at home for once. Stop at home for once. Now it was clear. Her family, Cyril, Doris and George Pearson, never wanted to stay at home. Now Mrs. Pearson, Mrs. Fitzgerald wanted them to stay at home, and she wanted to know whether Mrs. Pearson was ready for that. Mrs. Pearson, yes, Mrs. Pearson answered in the affirmative. And give me a hand with supper. She wanted her family to help him in preparing the supper. Supper? What is supper? Dinner and supper. Nowadays, this word, the supper, is going out of use. Dinner, which you enjoy. When? In the evening or night, you can say, at night. So, Mrs. Pearson wanted her family to give her a hand with supper, wanted to help her family, wanted her family to help her with her supper. Mrs. Fitzgerald, anything you would like to do that you enjoy, whether they do or not. Mrs. Fitzgerald wanted her family to do that work which her family did not enjoy, but Mrs. Pearson enjoyed doing. Thank you, children.